ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवद्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः. So, we saw yesterday how this life of the human being is a very, very different life than all the other animals put together. A very blessed life. Why? Because this body is an adhikari body. A body that is eligible. Eligible for what? Eating, drinking? No. Eligible for that, everybody is. But eligible for knowledge, eligible for karma to purify oneself in order to prepare oneself to gain the knowledge. So, this eligibility makes the human being a very, very special creation, very special. And this we saw. Karma jnana adhikaraha asti. And this is something which is which Bhashyakara points out. It is not the same for all the other beings. It's not the same at all. For all the other beings, just saving oneself from predators, eating, drinking, this is all it is. There is nothing more. And so, therefore, this is something which is uh, different here. There is those prakrita tendencies are there, those bestial tendencies are there. Each time one wants to protect oneself and one feels one is under attack for no reason at all. One feels one is under attack. Somebody looks at you and you think they are looking at me the wrong way, and then you feel under attack, and it's a completely subjective projection. And so this is all, this is all what Adi Shankara calls elsewhere in the Kathopanishad, Bhashya, as Prakrita Buddhi, subjective projections, bestial tendencies. Even those tendencies are there. That grab and go tendency is there. I want my share. And in fact, secretly, I also want your share. But I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to show it in action. That is also there. And the grab tendency is there. And the tendency to outwit other people is there. And the tendency to, what is that, each one for himself, each one for herself, that tendency, that survival tendency is there. It is all there. Then what makes us different from animals? What makes us different from animals is that we have the ability to override those tendencies. We have the ability to withdraw the projection. That is what is said in the Bhagavad Gita. Yada samharate chayam kurmonganiva sarvashah इन्द्रियाणीन्द्रियार्थेभ्यः तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. When the person is able to withdraw from the overwhelming objects, being overwhelmed by the objects of desire, withdraw from projections, withdraw the projections. that this object is going to make me happy, this object is going to make me famous, this object is going to make me, my life useful. These are all wrong tendencies, subjective projections, transference on anatma, thinking it to be atma. This is a projection. Projection on the anatma. But what is being projected on anatma? Anatma means not I. What is being projected is the atma is being projected on anatma. Anatmani atma adhyasa. This is the first kind of superimposition called adhyasa. Adhi asah, to throw something at something else. Also described in the Brahma Sutra, the opening of the Brahma Sutra as what? As the as the what is that called? The atasmin tad buddhi. In the not that, that buddhi. In the not in the not atma, atma buddhi. This is the problem. This is exactly the problem. And therefore these projections are there. Animals also have them, human beings also have them. If you approach a dog, it may make a mistake and think you're angry with it, and then try to growl at you or bite you or run away or something. But here, what is the beauty of it? The beauty of the human life is that the projections are latent, but at the same time, even though those bestial tendencies may be there, the ability to override them is there. Very beautiful. The ability to override the tamas is there. The ability to override the rajas is there. The ability to desire this knowledge is there. In fact, the desire is inherent in this human birth. The desire is there to gain this knowledge. The desire is there to overcome the fear. The desire is there to overcome all the sorrow. And so, this makes the human being a very different entity, a very different, srishti. And so, therefore, the Shastra does not spend its time discussing donkeys. The donkey has the freedom to kick. Human being also has the freedom to kick. What does the donkey not have? The donkey does not have the freedom not to kick. This is what we have to understand. But you have the freedom not to kick. This is what it is. And so this is the, at when it's a 6-month-old child, lying in the lap of the mother or the father and kicking, then it's cute. But then, when that same fellow is 26 years old and kicking, it's not, it very quickly becomes uncute. Okay. And so, therefore, there is so the child itself, as it grows up, it understands, okay, I need not do that right now. At that time, I was just exercising my calves. I couldn't walk. I couldn't talk. I just needed something to do. Now I have other outlets. So then that is already gone. And so like this, the ability to override the tendencies are there, which the animals don't have. Animal tendencies become animal nature. Human tendencies do not become human nature really. Because human nature, according to the Upanishad, is Satyam Jnanam Anantam. It is Brahman. Anything else is an interpolation, and as though superimposition. That is how we start to think. We need to start to think. And so the human being alone will be discussed in the Upanishad. The donkey cannot use this knowledge. The donkey does not want this knowledge. The donkey does not need this knowledge. And even if you give this knowledge to a donkey, it will not be able to appreciate it at all. And it will just it will bray. That's what you teach. Okay, maybe not Upanishad. Maybe I can teach the the donkey first portion of the Veda. First portion of the Veda is all prayer. It cannot pray. It will only bray. Yeah, that's all it will do. It cannot pray. It cannot do that, and neither does it need to do that. because it is not wanting anything other than what it's being given. It's not wanting something, a better life. It is not wanting to go to America and become famous. It's not wanting to, have gather other donkeys and start a protest against some particular cause. It's not wanting to do anything. It's just leading its life. That's all it's doing. So the Upanishad is for the human being. It is for you. And if you don't study it, who else will study it? If you don't listen to the Upanishad, who else will listen to the Upanishad? It is for you alone. And so, therefore, this is what is being pointed out by Bhashyakara. Bhashyakara is taking a stick and, beating this point within, so that there is absolutely no doubt that this Upanishad is not to be kept as a book to be kept in the showcase or in a bookcase, or it's a series of files that are there in your hard drive, digitalized. All that is wonderful, but if one is not exposing oneself to this knowledge, then it's not meant for anybody else other than you. It is specially meant for you. So that is what we saw up till yesterday. And then there is a very nice sentence that comes in the Bhashya. Let us look at that here. Yeah, so the bottom of the bottom of page 271, inside point 36. Yeah, so the second sentence inside point 36. So we saw up till here, karma jnana adhikarah. We saw that. Next we can repeat. Purushah eva hi
पुरुषः एव हि
shaktatvat
शक्तत्वात्
arthitvat
अर्थित्वात्
aparyudastatvat cha
अपर्युदस्तत्वात् च
arthi vidwan
अर्थी विद्वान्
समर्थः
समर्थः
कर्मज्ञानयोः
कर्मज्ञानयोः
अधिक्रियते.
अधिक्रियते.
Yeah, just a little heads up. We are going to stay here for a while because it's a mouthful. It's got a lot packed in. Bhashyakara just, is like Sutrakara. Everything is just very, very tightly packed in. And so we'll be looking at this very carefully. Important sentence, because the first sentence was just an introduction. And what was the introduction? Karma Jnana Adhikara. And that point of Karma Jnana Adhikara, how the person has Adhikara, the eligibility for Karma and Jnanam, is going to be fleshed out in this sentence. In this sentence, we are going to see how how the human beings have this eligibility for this knowledge. And so here, karma jnana adhikara. So he says in the Bhashya, this particular sentence, Purushaha eva hi. He, yasmat. Here he can mean many things. He means because in this context. He also means, what does he mean? He means therefore. Sometimes he means indeed. Sometimes he means he, not she. Okay, that also is he. But here the word he is means tasmat, because. Because. He means not tasmat, yasmat. Yasmat, because. So Purusha eva he. So karma jnana adhikar hai. And because, so the human being has eligibility for action, freedom of action, and then freedom to seek the knowledge. It was pointed out. Therefore, the whole Upanishad is oriented towards this person alone, meaning the human being. And then he, because, continuing, Purushaha eva, only the human being is qualified, adhikriyate, is eligible, is made eligible, adhikriyate. Only the human being is made eligible. Eligible for what? Karma jnana yoho, for karma and for jnana. Karma means do's and don'ts that are there in the first portion of the Veda, and also other ways to behave, etc. That is all part of karma. What to do, what not to do, and how to behave to with one friend, with one's friends, with one's teachers, with one's elders. All these things are there. Rules that are there established for the sake of ease of interactions. All this one has the freedom to follow or not. One can be a rebel and one can do whatever one wants. That is also there. And so here, this is what is pointed out. So there is a adhikara, there is a for karma and jnanam, there is a adhikara. So कर्मज्ञानयोः अधिकारः अस्ति अधिक्रियते पुरुषः एव हि, because the purusha alone is made eligible for knowledge, for do's and don'ts, for directing the free will in for self growth. This only a human being can do, nobody else. Directing one's free will, you totally for the sake of self growth, so that all the wrong projections, misunderstandings, etc., that are in the head based on some early childhood or past life experiences are withdrawn. And one is firmly in the empirical reality, just and one is inhabiting the jagat, just as Bhagavan made it. Just as Bhagavan made it, not how I see it. Because whenever you say, I see the Jagat in this way, it is colored by one's raga and dvesha, one's misperceptions. So the ability to withdraw from those misperceptions here is called adhikara. So the person is made eligible for this. The human being alone is eligible. And then, why? Because of three reasons. That he is going to enlist three reasons. One is Shaktatvat. Shaktatvat means that the person has a Shakti. What is the Shakti? Samarthya. Because the person is able. And here, what is the Samarthya? Viveka. You can also bring in here the word Vairagya also, the concept that is also important. So Viveka is the Samarthya. Viveka Vairagyat. Because of this Viveka and Vairagya, and the person has got Shaktatvat, the person has got the capacity for this knowledge, which is backed by Viveka and Vairagya. So the person has capacity. Capacity for what? Capacity to gain this knowledge. Capacity to once and for all bid a very happy goodbye, a permanent goodbye. And here I suppose we can call it a permanent wave. You can you can have a permanent wave for all the tendencies, subjective projections, being in the doldrums, all the time feeling targeted and victimized by this one and that one, and nobody loves me, and this one misunderstands me, and I'm so and I'm such and such, and nobody recognizes me. All these things one can bid goodbye. This mess of this mixed up notions in the head, one can bid a very cheerful goodbye. And even if those tendencies, as they leave, as they go out the door, they may ask, when I go, will you miss me? And you can say, not at all, not at all. I will not miss you. Be on your way. Disappear. There's nothing to miss. Oh, but sometimes I miss being sad. I feel sad that I haven't been sad in a long time. This actually somebody said to me. I feel sad because I've not been sad in a long time. I said, what kind of a sentence is this? Now you're already feeling sad. So that means you cannot tell me that you are not feeling sad and you're missing feeling sad because you're already feeling sad. And then the person started to laugh. So this is what it is. All these nonsense in the head, big nuisance it is. All these are gone And that eligibility is there for the human being, that samarthya is there, because viveka is possible. Viveka means discrimination between that which I want, which is permanent, and everything else that I'm following and pursuing, which is the impermanent. In fact, everything is a distraction, a huge distraction. You may think, oh, this is small, I can play in this. No, very soon it starts to play with you. It starts to play with you. And the it's like Saint Kabir composed a couplet, very beautiful couplet. So he says, he talks on behalf of the clay. The clay says to the potter, who is stepping in the clay to make it more malleable, to make the pots and other earthenware. So he's keep on pounding the clay with his feet. He's wearing, boots up till the knees, and then just, stomping the clay nicely. And so the clay says to the potter, okay, keep stomping me, keep walking all over me. One day will come where I will walk over you in the same way after you're buried. After you're buried. So this is how it is. And so here the script is flipped. You think you are just dilly-dallying with a little bit of an object of desire or some notion. Oh, I'll entertain this notion briefly. Then I'll come back to Vedanta. No coming back. Doesn't happen. That notion which you were entertaining starts to entertain you. And it's always a tragedy, never a comedy. You start to cry. And then, it's difficult. You go deep inside the notion and it's difficult to come out. And then the next Vedanta class is not for 2 days. So what to do? So somehow one has to one has to come out. And so therefore this dalliance with objects, notions, and useless distractions, they have to be kept at bay. And for that the human being alone has viveka. Donkey doesn't have viveka, not at all. Monkey doesn't have viveka. If you give monkey one apple and then a pearl necklace, it will choose the apple. It will not choose the pearl necklace and say, "Oh, I think I'll save it for my baby." No such thing. It will grab onto the banana or the apple, whatever you give it. And so, but the human being alone has the ability to pursue that which is lasting, which is non-separate from oneself. And so, therefore, Shaktatva. Shaktatvat, very important. Shaktatvat means has the Shakti for that, has the capacity for that. Through what? Viveka. And Viveka naturally brings in Vairagya. Because if I have Viveka that I want this and not that, then I have to drop all the other things that I have my hands in so many pies. I have many, many irons in the fire, as the saying, as the idiom goes. And so I have to let go of all of those things if I want this. I can't just keeping on, doing business as usual and doing this, that, everything else, and then a little bit of Vedanta here and there. It doesn't work. Vedanta demands full time engagement. Full time engagement in order to deliver the results. Engagement means it doesn't mean that you have to be taking classes all the time. It means that the commitment is there. The full time commitment is there, and other things also you're doing, no problem. You're waking up, you're eating, drinking, brushing teeth, and doing whatever else, doesn't matter. But that the commitment is there, all other interests and occupations and hobbies, etc., subserve this, and this is what is very, very important. This is what has to be properly assimilated, properly understood, and properly what should I say, internalized. This has to be internalized. And so here, this is what he says, Shaktatvat. So this is the so Mahavakya Jnane Adhikriyate Shaktatvat. So the person is eligible for Mahavakya Jnanam. For the knowledge yielded by the Mahabhakya that demonstrates, that unfolds the truth that you are nothing but Bhagavan, that is Mahabhakya. Shaktatvat. Shaktatvam asti. And so this is the Viveka, Vairagya, etc. is Shaktatvam. And so even though there are many, many choices, I choose this knowledge. I choose this every day. I clear out my life in order to make space for this. This is what called Shaktatvat. This is what is called Samarthya. This is the Samarthya. Then, because that capacity is there, and it is there with regard to knowledge, it's also there with regard to action. Supposing somebody is stealing something, and then you tell the person, like Narada told the Narada who was walking in the forest was robbed by the Valmiki, who was yet to be Valmiki, the author of the Ramayana, and he was a highway robber, and he robbed people, and Narada was one of his victims of robbery. And then, he didn't find anything interesting. One bag called Jhola, and then four chapatis, which somebody had packed for his journey. That's all he found. And he said, "Where's the gold? Where's the silver?" Narada says, "I don't need gold or silver. I don't have any gold or silver. I don't believe you. You must have gold. Nobody is happy without gold." He said, "No, you don't need gold to be happy. You need the truth of the self to be happy." Narada told him that. And so, like this, and he made him from this highway robber and this murderer who had offed many people just to get their money, to get their gold. And so much papa he had accrued, but because of that Shaktatvat, because of this Shakti the human being has, he was able to atone for his wrongdoings. And through the grace of Lord Rama, what did he become? He became Valmiki. He became great. He himself became a saint. It is just so beautiful. What a beautiful story. So that's where the thing is, the person can be told, if you do this, anishtam syat, something you don't want will happen. Something bad will happen. Narada was telling him that. Something bad will happen. You don't know how much papa you have accrued. You should give up this life. And he gave up this life. So that ability is called Shakti here. So from Shak, the capacity to be capable of. Shaknoti, like that, and then so that's how it declines. And so therefore, if you tell somebody, don't do this, don't do that, that is what karmani adhikar hai. This samarthyam is there, and again, this is what will bring you ultimate peace. This knowledge, you must listen to Vedanta. If one is told, then one sees hopefully, one will see that it is important. It is not just important, it is the most important thing to do, is to do Shravanam. And nowadays it's so easy. All you have to do is sit in front of the computer. You don't have to even go anywhere. And then, so this is the Shaktatvat. The second reason Adi Shankara gives that for the human being to be the one who is the adhikari for this karma and jnana is arthitvat. Arthitvat means the human being is an arthi. Arthi means the one who is focused on security. Arthi. So earth, to things which make me feel happy, things which make me feel secure is called from the root verb earth. And so arthitvat, because the person is a arthi, a wanting person, a person who is who is keeping on wanting this, that, or the other. And a planner, that is also an arthi. Planner, preparing for retirement. Only the human being does this. No one else that I know prepares for retirement. No other animal. The cow does not say, I think I need a retirement, a place to retire. Never. Neither does the bird say, I need a permanent nest. No, they build the nest for a specific purpose and they line it with soft feathers, cotton and threads. You should see the inside of the nest for all the small newborn babies who don't have feathers. So they should not get hurt, and it should be deep so that they don't fall out of the nest. And then so they build very complicated and beautiful nests. And then what? Then after the young are raised, they just migrate. They migrate south, and then when they come back, they don't say, "This is my house. I had gone to Florida for the winter, and now I'm back. Where is my house? Who took my house? I'm going to peck you out of existence. Why are you sitting in my house?" No, no such thing. They just get busy building a new nest. They're not having that kind of they don't have that kind of a possessory kind of a thing that, oh, this is my needam. Nida means nest. This is my nida. And and why is it called nida? Because the human being thinks I nida this. And that is why. And so this is not something the birds think like that. The next season, when they are back, they build another house, and there is another set of eggs are laid, another set of young are fed, and then they are given what is that, flight lessons, and then they go away, build their own nests, and like this. But the human being constantly worried about tomorrow. And not only tomorrow, okay, it's one thing to worry about tomorrow or day after tomorrow, but the human being is also worried about the next life. And then is this life and the next life, in between there will be some time. That time also I want it to be cushy. I want lokas, I want brahmaloka. I hear that is the best. How can I make a reservation? How can I make a reservation in Vaikuntha? Where are the tickets being sold? And for Kailasa, Vaikuntha, all these places where I can just go and take a selfie with Shiva, Vishnu, etc. I want to go there. This is what is called arthi. Only the human being has this. Oh, I don't have money. I want to have money. I don't have a house. I need a house. And I don't have friends. I need friends. I need friends who can grow old with me. And what is the guarantee? What is the guarantee that they'll be there when you're old? Or for that matter, what is the guarantee that one will be there when they are old? One may not be there. But this is how the tendency is. So this is called arthitvat. Arthitvat. And then, so that is arthi. And then there is this thing, even swamis, they say, oh, I need to build an ashram. Why? Why do you need to build a, no, for the future, I want to be secure. All these things are just in the way. These are all big distractions. Really. Right now, do you have a head over your shoulders? Yes. And do you have a shade over your head? Yes. Enough. Enough. That's more than enough. And so we have to expand. We have to go here. We have to go there. We have to accomplish this. We have to accomplish that. Very difficult. And so this is the kind of a thing. And then Pujya Swamiji used to tell the story of one Swami in Rishikesh. I don't know the name and it's not important. But what did this Swami do? This Swami was worried about building himself a samadhi. So whenever the ashram donors came, he had a nice ashram. And he said, I want a nice marble samadhi after I die. So he asked one donor, please build me a samadhi. Samadhi means a grave. So the grave, is built after the person dies, where people can come have darshan and take blessings. Not when the person is alive. It's the most inauspicious thing to do is to build a grave. A very grave matter we consider. We don't, it's not like the West. You go and select a plot and buy the plot. That is not there. In the Hindu tradition, that is not there. First of all, one is cremated, so that's one reason why it's not there. And second reason is sadhus are not cremated, but still you don't do that when one is still alive. So then he had an empty grave, he had an empty samadhi waiting for him, and he survived for another 20 years, 22 years to be precise. And after that, the body, not he was gone. The body was put in the marble samadhi and sealed. So you see how careful one has to be. This is what is called arthi, arthitvat, because the human being has this grab, greedy, want, and always focused on the tomorrow. Plan. Make God laugh. If somebody said, if you want to make God laugh, please tell all your plans. Bhagavan, that's why Bhagavan doesn't have cable TV. Because Bhagavan is listening to your plans every day and just laughs. That is what Bhagavan does. So then that's the next word, arthitvat. And then the third word is what? Uh, where are we? Bhashya keeps hiding itself behind the Zoom screen. Here it is. Okay, so shaktatvat we have seen, arthitvat we have seen, aparyudastatvat. Paryudasa, pari plus udasa means asangatvam, indifference. Aparyudasa means non-indifference. Means what? I want to have a say in everything. Two passerbys are talking, but then I want to put my 2 cents there also. I want to give my opinion. This happens in India a lot. You are there trying to buy something of a street vendor, let's say fruits. You just want to buy, some 2, 3 apples and go back to the house. That's all you want. That's your only uddeshya. That's your only goal. And then the people next to also buying the fruit, they'll say, don't buy this variety. It's not nice. What do you mean it's not nice? No, it's all not very good. It doesn't ripen properly, and buy this kind. No, but I want to buy that kind. In fact, as long as they are alive, they will not let you buy that kind at all. And this has happened to me many times. They will say, no, you should not buy this. No, don't you know this is not good for you? Don't buy this. See, it's all rotten. And then they will take your hand, drag you to the next, vendor and say, buy from her. She is better than him. This is what is called non-indifference. And not only is the person worried about their own shopping, they're very, very worried about what kind of fruits and what kind of vegetables I am buying. That also they are very, very worried about, and they want to have a say. You may say, oh, it is harmless. Yes, it is harmless. But I'm not making a judgment. I'm just saying that the human being means they want to have a say in everybody's life, sometimes even at the cost of their own. They want to just do this. In everything, they want to interfere. They have an opinion about everything. They want to interfere in everything. They want to insert themselves in every situation, whether they belong there or not, and whether their views are welcome or not. It doesn't in the least matter. Insert themselves, they will. And this is the so in other words, aparyudasina means the one who is over curious. What are they talking? Oh, did I hear my name? Oh no, it's the neighbor's name. Okay, let me at least hear what. First, there is like a little bit of disinterest, but then let me hear what they think of the neighbors. Let me go and listen to that. This is what is called, interference. So, interference and no asangatvam, no indifference. Interference and indifference are diametrically opposite to one another. All the time worried about what other people are doing, what are they thinking, what are they this thing, and then even on social media, one has to express one's opinion, and one has to tweet about something, one has to, do something there, one has to make a post, and one has to, advertise something. Why? Really? Why can't we learn to keep to ourselves, really? But this is this aparyudasa. Aparyudasa means this being in everybody's business, being in their own business, all these things. This is what aparyudasatvacha arthi vidwan samartha karma jnanayoho. So, because the person is a wanter, because the person cannot keep to themselves, that is the reason they are ready for Atmajnanam in a way. Because these are all signs. Because you see, if you keep on interfering in other people's life to the detriment of your own, that means that there is a clue. You're fit for Atmajnanam. Why? It's time to focus on your own life. Sans the distractions. Without those distractions, it is time to focus on your own life. Don't worry what other people are doing. They are fine. They were fine before you came along and started to think about them. They are fine even now, and so they will continue to be fine even if you withdraw from their lives. And so this is, this is all these three things, Shaktatvat, these three hetus which are given, Shaktatvat, Arthitvat, and Aparyudasatvat. Because of these things, these are all mixed blessings. Of course, Viveka, Vairagya, not a mixed blessing, but the other two, the wanting nature, to get rid of that wanting nature, and to want, and one doesn't like to interfere in other people's business, but one does it out of a sense of habit, because it is too painful to think about oneself. For these reasons, the person becomes an adhikari. For what? Jnana, karma first, and then jnana. The person becomes a adhikari for jnana and karma. Very nice. And so here in the Bhashya, a few other words are there. What is that? Vidwan samartha karma jnanayoho arthi. Yeah, vidwan. Vidwan means the one with viveka. Vidwan doesn't mean the one with self-knowledge. Okay, Vidwan means the one with viveka. Adhikriyate karma jnanayoho. And so this is what it is. And so so therefore the कर्मणि ज्ञाने च अधिक्रियते पुरुषः एव. Now, to buttress this point, to reiterate this point, and to do pushti karanam, to prove this point. What is the point? That the human being, because of viveka, because of interfering in other people's affairs, and because of being a wanter, is qualified for knowledge and karma. That is said, that is expressed through a very beautiful passage which we don't come across because it's not from the Upanishad, it's from the Aranyaka portion of the Taittiriya Rig Veda. And so there's the Aranyaka portion, and then there is a quotation, and very lovely quotation, which just basically, is expands or reiterates what we have studied so far. So let us read. पुरुषे तु एव
पुरुषे तु एव
अविस्तराम् आत्मा
अविस्तराम् आत्मा
स हि
स हि
प्रज्ञानेन सम्पन्नतमः
प्रज्ञानेन सम्पन्नतमः
विज्ञातं वदति
विज्ञातं वदति
विज्ञातं पश्यति
विज्ञातं पश्यति
वेदश्वस्तनम्
वेदश्वस्तनम्
वेदलोकालोकौ
वेदलोकालोकौ
मध्येन अमृतम् ईप्सति
मर्त्येन अमृतम् ईप्सति
इति एवं सम्पन्नः
इति एवं सम्पन्नः
अथ
अथ
इतरेषां पशूनाम्
इतरेषां पशूनाम्
अशनापिपासे एव
अशनापिपासे एव
अभिविज्ञानम्
अभिविज्ञानम्
इत्यादि
इत्यादि
कृत्यन्तरदर्शनात्.
श्रुत्यन्तरदर्शनात्.
Yeah, very beautiful quotation from the Taittiriya Aranyaka, and the citation is mentioned here if you want to look it up. Purushe tu, Purushe means for the person, Purushe tu eva avistaram atma. Avistaram atma means atishayena prakatitah, according to Tikakara. Tikakara describes that as atishayena prakatitah, means that consciousness which is totally broadcast. Nothing is hiding. Everything is out there. That consciousness which is so self effulgent and self evident, and that is the one that is there, and that is the one that is being talked about, and that is that consciousness which is called Avistaram Atma. Uninhibited in the human being, this consciousness is. Unlike animals, etc., wherein they are programmed, here the human being is totally uninhibited, that consciousness. One is self evident, and everything becomes evident to one. Everything becomes evident. And so, this is what the thing is. Amazing. And so, therefore, Avistaram Atma. Purushe evatu, in the human being alone, this kind of an Atma, this kind of a Chaitanya, Atma here means Chaitanya, this kind of a consciousness shines brightly. Is nothing but this, shines brightly, shines like anything. So, this kind of a Atma shines, and then Purushe eva, in the human being alone. It's not that the mosquito Atma does not shine brightly, it does. But the mosquito is programmed. The mosquito body mind sense complex is very much programmed and does not go outside of that programming. Here there is no programming, that's the idea. Avistaram Atma means a consciousness that is not in a programmed body. There is no programming, the will is free and the awareness is uninhibited and total. Avistaram Atma. Sahi prajnanena sampannatamaha. Sampannaha means endowed, but sampannatamaha means completely endowed. Means that is why the superlative is used. Tamap means superlative. Sampannatamaha. The person is totally endowed, fully endowed. With what? Sampanna prajnana. Prajnana means with this consciousness, this uninhibited consciousness which is self-evident. With that, in that Purusha there is this, in that person, in that human being alone, this uninhibited consciousness is possible. In that human being means in that human body mind sense complex, and Sahi, that person is endowed with uninhibited consciousness. Very beautiful. And so, what does that mean? Endowed with uninhibited consciousness means what? There is a lot of freedoms that one enjoys which others do not have. Do not have. Purushetu means Manushya eva avistaram atma. This Chit Swarupa Satchidananda Atma, it is there. Atishayena prakatitaha. Totally evident. And that chit which obtains in the buddhi, in the antahkarana, is manifest. It's conscious of the external world, it is conscious of itself. That atma is prakataha. It is broadcasting itself. That Chaitanya is so totally manifest that there is nothing to inhibit. This is what it is. That's the beauty of the human upadhi. The Manushya Upadhi has got this particular Vishesha. That's why what was said earlier, Pradhanyam. Because of this the consciousness has Purna Abhivyakti, means the complete manifestation. And that's why even in the, like I said, even in the donkey, mosquito, everything is there. But the buddhi which broadcasts this Chaitanya is not developed, is programmed. That is the only difference. Even though mosquito is Brahman, human being is Brahman, in the upadhi, from the standpoint of the body, mind, sense complex, the buddhi is not eligible. Why? Because it doesn't have the sattvadhikya. It doesn't have the excess of sattva that the human buddhi has. And so it is self-conscious, and that means what? It is also self-judgmental, the human buddhi. It's a mixed blessing. It's self-conscious, self-judgmental, and then when it is self-judgmental, the planning for the future and all these things will come one by one by one. All of them will be there. And so this is the idea. And then further, what was the next sentence here? So in the human being alone this is there, no other place it is possible. And then because of this, there is what is that, there is that eligibility, vijñātam vadati, the ability to know and share whatever one knows. Vijñātam means the person, vijñātam means this is known, iti. This is known means what? This is known means it is I know this and I know that I know this. Both those things are there. Vijñātam vadati, and I know this, and then I can also talk about this because I know this. So why can I talk about this? Because I know this. And then this is how it is understood. Vijñātam vadati, and then vijñātam pashyati. Vijñātam pashyati means the ability to recollect. Vijñātam, that which is known, is now recollected. That which is known is recollected. Means I know this before. I studied this in college. I studied this in 3rd grade. Now I know this. Means what? Now I'm recollecting this. Oh, yes, I had studied about this. Usually, what does the person recollect? Something bad was done to me. That never goes. That is always recollected. 25 years later, 50 years later, that person wished me ill. That person, I have a grudge. Come on, let go. That person is old and feeble now. Doesn't matter. I have a grudge and I am not going to let go. This is what it is. And so this is the uh, this is the buddhi. Vijñātam vadati. And then vijñātam, what was that? Vijñātam vadati, vijñātam pashyati. And in that we have to also include the that which is known, that which is yet to be known, that which is recollected, etc. All these things are included. And then vijñātam vadati, vijñātam pashyati. Very beautiful quotation. And then some other things are talked about. What is vijñātam vadati, vijñātam pashyati? And then Vedashvastanam. There is a pratyaya called tana. Adyatana. Tana means pertaining to and whatever comes in front. So adyatana. Adya means now, today. Adyatana, pertaining to today. Prachinatana, pertaining to the ancient times. Prachinatana. And then Shvastana, pertaining to Tomorrow. Shvaha means tomorrow. So this is pertaining to tomorrow. Shvastana. Veda Shvastana means knows what all is going to happen tomorrow. Oh, how? Is that person Sarvagya or what? How can the person know what is happening tomorrow? No, doesn't know what is happening tomorrow, but thinks that I have a say over the tomorrow, meaning can plan for tomorrow. Can plan for tomorrow. That is the idea. So can plan for tomorrow. Then so the person is why? Because there is the what is that? Sampannatamaha prajnanena sampannatamaha has got prajnanam, and that viveka buddhi etc is there, and sampannatamaha means completely endowed, totally endowed to the hilt. So Vijnatam Vadati, Vijnatam Pashyati. And so all this, recollect what happens. And then what? Shvastana, Shvastanam Veda. They can predict the future. How? Through astrology, etc. Astrology and some siddhis, all that, some useless things called siddhis, all these things. And then what do? And then you say, oh, I predict and I am going to do this. Oh, my what's its name? My in my horoscope, the this is in the wrong place. What is in the wrong place? The Venus is in the wrong place, and the Saturn is in the wrong place, and all these things. So I know that 5 years from now, some wrong dasha will come. So I have to plan for that. I have to plan for that. And then there is something called dasha sandhi. Dasha sandhi means one dasha you are getting out of, another dasha you are getting into, one sub period you are getting out of, another sub period you are entering. So then you can do some homas and you can do some pariharas, upayas, you can change a few things. And this is what is called Shvastanam Veda. Knows what is going to happen tomorrow. Who? The human being. As I told you, the donkey does not care. Whatever is happening tomorrow, why should the donkey worry? Donkey doesn't even know it's tomorrow. It's just an endless series of days for the donkey. And then so Shvastanam Veda, Veda Loka Lokau, Loka Lokau, Lokascha Alokascha, Loka Lokau. So knows lokas and knows aloka also. What is this aloka? Aloka we know. Various fields of experiences. Bhuloka, Swargaloka, Brahmaloka. These are all lokas which one knows because one has read about it in the Veda and one obviously wants to go there and have a good time or whatever it is. And then so loka, lokau, Veda. So you can say this lokam, I know, we can say. Lokyate iti lokaha, you can say. So this lokam I know, Sarga lokam I know, Martya lokam I know. And then what is aloka? Aloka, is the Tikakara describes aloka in a very interesting way. But first, let's see the regular meaning of aloka. Aloka means somewhere where you don't want to go. Some kind of adhama loka is called aloka, like opposite of heaven, hell, naraka, etc. Nobody wants to go. Who will like to go there? No one. And so that is what is called aloka. So these are the and somewhere else also, I think in Kathopanishad or somewhere we are told that the one so the one who neglects a brahmana, a saptaman tasya lokaha tasya lokaha hinasti. The lokas are destroyed. And so the lokas are destroyed for the person, lokan hinasti. So the lokas are destroyed for the person who neglects to serve a brahmana like that. There is a saying. And so here So the loka and aloka. Aloka means not very nice place where I don't want to go. This is aloka. Whereas loka means some kind of a loka. So this is one meaning. And then the Tikakara gives a different meaning. Tikakara means Anandagiri. Anandagiri says something else. What does he say? So he says that loka is, he says the loka is the the loka is the swarga, etc., wherever you want to go. And the means for the loka is called aloka. You say the sadhya, which is loka, and then you negate that, and that becomes the sadhana. So loka, aloka, both he knows. He knows the purusha. The purusha knows the sadhana and the sadhya. Loka, loka, or what is to be gained, and what is bhojyam, and what should be what is not to be gained. So lokyate means bhujyate. That is also loka. What is enjoyable, what is not enjoyable, what is desirable, what is not desirable. That all the person knows. So you see how wonderful this human being is. So many capacities, and then one more very interesting capacity is pointed out, and let us see what that is. Uh, yeah, here it is. Where is that? Yeah. So Vijnatam, yeah, Veda Lokau Martyena, we have to add here Karmana. Martyena Karmana Amritam Ipsati iti evam sampanna. So well endowed is this human being, is that through finite karma always wants the infinite. Amazing. Through just doing something finite, Amritam ipsati, desires the Amrita. Amritatvam ipsati, Amritam ipsati. So, like this, the person wants, very interestingly, through the finite karma, hopes to gain the infinite. How is that possible? How are you going to gain the infinite through the finite? Well, not possible. That's why the person is running around in circles, doing this, that, or the other, and then gaining life after life after life. So you can take that sentence, that part of the sentence, Martyena Amritam Ipsati, as some kind of a, what's that? Some kind of a sarcasm, some kind of a irony. It's a figure of speech called irony in the Alankara, called irony in the Upanishad. But then when you look deeply in it, there is a point the Upanishad is trying to make, the Aitareya Aranyaka is trying to make. What is the Aitareya Aranyaka trying to say? The Aitareya Aranyaka is saying that Yajnena Danena Tapasa, elsewhere this sentence comes, Brihadaranyaka Shruti, Yajnena Danena Tapasa, Vividishanti Brahmanaha. Vividishanti Veditum Icchanti. So the Brahmana means the people who are desirous of Brahman. That is what is Brahmachari, Brahmana, etc. Brahmani Charitum Sheelam Asya Asti Brahmachari. The one who has the capacity, the one who has the capacity to move only in Brahman. That's all it is. To have the focus as Brahman should be the focus. No other focus should be there. So that is the idea. And so that is what is Brahmachari. And here also the person is the person is Vividishanti. The person desire the Brahmanas here, the persons who want to study the Vidya, they become eligible, they decide to study, or they become desirous to know this knowledge. How? Yajnena, through yajna, danena, through charity, through worship, and then yajnena, danena, tapasa, through religious or spiritual austerities, they become eligible for knowledge. So you see, there is a very interesting irony which becomes the truth because it has come through the mouth of the Shruti. It has become the truth. What is that? That the Shruti said, through Martyena Karmana, amritam ichanti, ipsanti, ipsati. So therefore, the person desires the infinite through the finite karma. So here, the finite karma, in terms of charity, in terms of dhanam, in terms of all this, charity, reaching out actions, in terms of education, etc., etc., that you can use the finite karma to gain the infinite indirectly by becoming eligible for it. So the karma here becomes karma yoga, and through this karma yoga, the karma yoga becomes an indirect means to become eligible for this knowledge. So this is only the human being can do. Dog will not do karma yoga, and it will be dogged in that fact. Okay, so this is the thing. This is a very interesting trick that that the yogis know, and all the other people know. The people who have studied the Veda know. They do ordinary karma and then gain amritatvam through knowledge. They become eligible to understand that. Very, very clever. And so, prajnanena sampannaha, vivekena sampannaha purushaha, all this the person gains. And atha itaresham, yeah, so atha, now, itaresham pashunam, therefore, itaresham pashunam, for the other beings, ashana pipase eva abhivijnanam. So, for what about the other beings? Ashana and pipasa. The desire to eat and drink are the only two awarenesses that they have. The awarenesses that power them is not these three hetus are not there. Shaktatvat, arthitvat, aparyudastatvat cha, etc. is not there. They are not arthi, they are not vidwan, they are not samartha, no viveka, no vairagya, no karmani adhikara, no jnane adhikara. So karma jnanayoho na adhikriyante. They are not eligible for karma or jnanam. So what are they eligible for? To desire food and drink. That's all. That's the whole purpose of life. Food and drink, and in between reproduction. That's all it is, nothing else. No other thing is possible. And so the ashana pipase eva. So in the desire for food and drink alone is some activity, brain activity is only there. Abhivijnanam. Only recognition is there. I am hungry. Oh, that one has some, so what I want. I'm going to beat up that animal and take what it has. I'm thirsty. I have to find a watering hole. That's all it is. Iti Shrutyantara Darshanat. This is what we are seeing in the another Shruti. What is which Shruti? Aitareya Aranyaka. And then, so let us read this last sentence. Sahi Purushaha
स हि पुरुषः
Iha Vidyaya
इह विद्यया
Antaratamam Brahma
अन्तरतमं ब्रह्म
Sankramayitum
सङ्क्रामयिष् सङ्क्रामयितुम्
Ishtaha.
इष्टः.
So, Sahi Purusha. This is the person, which person, this, the one that has been, having these lakshanas, endowed with these lakshanas, endowed with the characteristics of having Viveka, Vairagya, of the ability to plan for the future, and the one who is having uninhibited consciousness, the one who can complain about their situation, the one who says, I'm an idiot and I need this knowledge, I'm ignorant, help. The one who can come to this knowledge, and the one who is clever enough to turn finite karma into a ladder to reach the infinite indirectly by using the karma as preparation. Sahi Purushaha, that Purushaha, iha, here, what is that? Vidyaya, through the knowledge, ultimately desires to ishtaha. Ishtaha means has the desire. Sankramayitum means prapayitum, to gain. to gain, has the desire to gain Brahman. What kind of Brahman? Antaratamam Brahma. The Brahman that is the innermost, Antaratamam. Innermost. Innermost means what? That which is mistaken for this body, that which is mistaken to be the mind, that which is mistaken to be the senses, that which is mistaken to all kinds of, kinds of things, that which is mistaken to be the karta, that which is mistaken to be the bhokta. And so therefore this is the person, a little internal journey follows this particular bhashya. The Shruti follows with an internal journey of going from what is very visible and tangible, this body, and then little less tangible the senses, little less tangible the mind, buddhi, etc. Little less tangible karta, oneself as a karta, little less tangible oneself as a bhokta. All this one has to cross. That's why he used the expression prapayatum. He, instead of prapayatum, in order to gain, he used the expression sankramayatum. He has to cross over all this. The student has to cross over all this and without becoming cross. That's the point, okay? And so the person has to cross over all this and then gain the Atma. And then that is what is awaiting us. Very beautiful discussion, etc. awaits. We'll see next week. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.
Can I ask a quick question, Swamiji?
Sure.
Martyena karmana amritam ipsati. There, the martyena is the adjective to karmana, right? So finite karma.
No, I only added karmana. I said you have to understand it as karmana because it just says martyena amritam ipsati. Prapayitum, ichati or something, ipsati. The karmana
Yeah.
I added for added clarity, that's all.
Yeah, and in the Anandagiri
Martyena
Tika,
karmana. Yeah, it is martya, the martyena is qualifying karmana. Yeah,
yeah,
martyena karmana.
in the Tika, it says martyena jnana karmadi sadhanena. So jnana sadhana also can have the martya as
No,
a
jnana sadhana, sadhana for jnana.
yeah, that
Jnanaya sadhana. That is what. You have to look it as jnanaya sadhanam, jnana sadhanam. Then it
yeah,
becomes karma.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
If you say, take it as Shashti Tatpurusha, if you take it as Jnanasya Sadhanam, then it becomes Upanishad. Then it becomes Shravanam. That is the Jnanasya Mukhya Sadhanam. But if you take it as fourth case, Jnanaya Sadhanam, then it
Yeah,
becomes all these karma. Dana, worship, all these things. Charity, worship, and seva, all these things. Okay?
yeah,
Is that
yeah,
clear?
yeah, it is clear.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, that's it.